welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Ramaisa, and today I wanted to answer you guys' questions revolving around Ramadan. So I did put a post on my Instagram asking you guys whatever questions you had about Ramadan. So let's get to it! Alright, so we're going to start off with the first question that we're asked. I have my questions here. So basically in terms of what around like the best time to work out, especially during Ramadan, it's honestly up to each person. It's very subjective. So for me personally, like, it doesn't really matter during the day. Like, it just depends on how I feel that day, and I'm like, okay, like this morning I feel like I can work out and I'll be fine, or maybe I'll do it closer to iftar because I'm dying here. So it's honestly up to each person to figure out what works for them best. But if we're gonna be talking about like the three things that usually Muslim athletes do, and I was looking at some scholarly articles, and they were saying that like a lot of the times these athletes will actually do after suhoor, or in the late afternoon, so that would be close to the iftar time, and then also after iftar time. So those are the three areas that a lot of the athletes, Muslim athletes, reported that they would train during that time. So if you wanted to go by that, you can just figure out what works for you best, and make sure that you're always also being mindful of how your body reaction is, but also like just the state you are in psychologically too. So on to the next question, which is in terms of, I guess, how do I get enough sleep during Ramadan? So personally, I know with Ramadan, a lot of people are going to Tarawih prayers, or they're doing like extra activities, whether that be with their family or like religious practices. So it can take away from your sleep time, and I know at times I'm guilty of that. So making sure to even have like a nap during the day, it helps a lot, because even just having a half an hour to an hour, 2 hours, it'll make such a big difference, and you'll feel more energized during that day. So yeah, I would advise just trying to get some nap time during the day, and if you can't, like, try to, as much as you can, when you come back from Tarawih, right away go to bed and try to get as much sleep as possible. Okay, the next question we have is what time is the best for studying and doing homework during Ramadan? So I guess, again, that comes to each person. So for me, I'm kind of like a morning person. I enjoy mornings. I'm not grumpy in the morning, especially if I'm waking up to do something that I really love to do. So for those people that are not morning people, then I would suggest us finding a time that you feel like you're cognitively more aware. So whether that be closer to this whether that be closer to the iftar time or after iftar, where you actually have food in your system. Because I know for some people, like, if they don't have a lot of food in their system, they can't even think about whatever they have to do for school. So I guess it's up to you to figure that out and figure out, okay, am I right now, can I actually invest time into like my schoolwork, and will I actually be getting what I'm reading and doing? Okay, the other thing is, another person was like, you don't even drink water. No, so in Ramadan, Muslims basically abstain from drinking water, food, eating food, and any sexual activities. So they basically abstain from a lot of things, and this is all part of the Ramadan fasting, so the intermittent fasting. So the whole idea is that there's no water, no food, so you're cleansing your whole body, and you're basically dedicating your time and day to worshiping God. Another question was asked is, do you shower in your hijab? No, I do not shower in my hijab. And yet Ramadan, including in Ramadan, I promise this hijab gets off. Another question was asked was, how do we try to maintain your weight versus losing weight versus gaining weight? So I guess it's different for each person. So for in the category, like, personally speaking, for me, if I know, like, I want to try to gain weight and make sure maintaining it, so especially with Ramadan, a lot of us might be ending up losing weight, and that's normal, especially in the first 2 weeks where your body's getting used to the whole fasting and the hours and everything like that. So there's actually a name to that. It's a psychophysiological adaptation. And so a lot of the times we just need to make sure that our diet, and as well as our physical activity and stuff like that, are both working hand in hand. So what I mean by that is that making sure that during iftar time or the suhoor, you figure out what getting those vegetables, the fruits, and making sure you have those carbohydrates that are easily accessible, because that's what's going to help you also recover. Another thing is, I was actually looking at a scholarly article, and they were saying that if you don't, a lot of the times your actual physiological adaptation actually happens during your sleep, subhanAllah, and especially with Ramadan and your fasting, so it is taxing on your body. So you need to make sure that you're actually getting enough sleep in order to actually have the, I guess, the fitness and level of like activity that you want to do during the daytime or during the evening. So making sure, I guess, in terms of like maintaining weight and gaining weight, it's really hard to gain weight during Ramadan. Maintaining weight is a little bit easy, but not really. It just depends on each person, and they're also just their body type, and just also their level of metabolism, and just a lot of different factors. And so even in the scholarly articles, it was a lot of gray zones, so they didn't have specifically where they would say, okay, if you did this, this would happen. So you just need to make sure that you kind of watch what your body's response is and kind of act based off of that. And then losing weight, I guess losing weight is really easy in Ramadan, but also I found something interesting is that after Ramadan, a lot of people actually gain the weight back. So I guess it just has to do also with what you do for your diet and level of physical activity. So yeah, those are the questions that I had. I'm probably going to cover, there were other questions about, I guess, easy workouts for Ramadan and stuff like that, and just healthy eating, budgeting like your meal preps and stuff like that, and so that will probably do another video for that. Thank you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe, and if you guys have any feedback for me, I'd love to hear back from you. Anyway, salam!